My beloved child, it is time for you to release the pictures you have painted in your mind, the scenarios you have imagined of how things should unfold. I know you've tried to map it all out, to plan to envision every step, but the sketches you've drawn cannot compare to the eternal design I have prepared. So now I am calling you to let go of your limited perspective and fully surrender to the plan I am unfolding before you. The miracle will not be lost, but it can be missed. Missed if you reject the method I have chosen, simply because it feels unfamiliar, unsettling, or does not align with what you've come to expect. Dear one, this shift is not rejection. It is not me turning away from you, but rather my divine redirection toward the path you are meant to take. You may see it and think you've been denied, but I see it as protection. You may call it chaos, but I call it construction. A work in progress, brick by brick, pillar by pillar, foundation upon foundation, laid with precision. You only see the dust and noise of the construction site, but I see a strong house taking shape. I am not shaking things to destroy, I am shaking them to rebuild. Every trembling is not a sign of collapse, but a testimony that a new foundation is being established in your life. My precious child, I am shaping you into one who cannot be shaken. But to bring you to that place, I must tear down the old versions of yourself, those built on fear, compromise, or the instinct to survive that this world has ingrained in you. You've learned to live just to survive, but I want you to live to overcome. You've grown accustomed to settling in exchange for temporary peace, but I am calling you out of that to walk into the peace that is true, peace that flows from me, not from everything going your way. You have chosen fear over trust too many times, but now I will strengthen your faith, solid, enduring, and unwavering, so that you will no longer tremble in the dark, but know you were made to shine. I did not come to preserve your comfort zone. You've become too familiar with the fences you've built around yourself, with the limits you place to feel safe. But those very walls have imprisoned you. I am not here to maintain that small circle. I have come to awaken within you another kind of person, the one I destined from the very beginning. Within you lies the seed of a mighty warrior long buried under fear. Within you beats the heart of a true worshiper, though anxiety has veiled it. Within you resounds the voice of a witness, yet timidity has held it back. But now I come to awaken it all, so you may know you were not born just to survive, but to proclaim my name throughout the earth. You will not be the same after this shift. But my child, this is not loss, it is mercy. If I were to leave you unchanged, that would be abandonment. But because I love you, I will not allow you to remain in mediocrity. I will not let fear or doubt define your borders. I am allowing you to pass through this shaking, so that you might emerge as something new, strong, free, and radiant in my light. And when you look back, you will realize that this change was not a burden, but a gift of my loving kindness. My dear one, I have not come merely to return what you've lost. You ask for restoration, but I am not here to bring you back to where you began. I have come to give you more, far beyond anything you ever imagined. You thought you could only ask for comfort, but I give you a calling. You hoped for peace, but I give you courage. You waited for healing, but I give you the power to bring healing to others. You asked for a small portion, but I am the Father who gives exceedingly more than all you could ask or imagine. So do not cling to what is outdated. Do not fear the strange method I am using. Do not look at the shaking and assume everything is lost. Open your eyes and see I am crafting, I am building, I am reshaping your life. And let your heart overflow with gratitude, for it is through this very turning point that you are being transformed into someone unshakable, a warrior, a worshiper, a living witness of my love and power. My beloved child, open your heart to receive what I am about to speak. I am clearing the path before you, lifting away the layers of dust, removing the veils, silencing the noise that has hindered you from hearing my gentle whisper. Those distractions that once pulled you off, the course I have set, are now being taken away by my own hand. I do not act in chaos, but with the tenderness of a father's hand leading you into peace and light. You will come to realize that even in silence I am speaking. In the signs you once overlooked, I am sending messages. In the upheavals you thought were random, I am revealing my intent. And in the patterns you see repeating, I am painting a greater picture so that you may recognize my ways. My child, time no longer moves as it once did. The season is shifting in an instant like a powerful wind sweeping through and causing everything around you to move with it. I am working swiftly, not because I am in haste, but because my precision is unfolding. Do not be afraid of the weight you feel pressing upon you, for it is not meant to crush you, but to invite you into step with me. If the enemy intensifies his attacks, then I accelerate the union between you and me. It is in this very hour that your alignment with me must grow stronger than ever. When you walk in complete harmony with me, every scheme of darkness dissolves like mist before the rising Sunday. You are no longer struggling alone, but are covered by divine strength, swept into the flow of my power that is now in motion. My beloved, understand that this is not a race you must run by your own strength. This is the journey of surrender, where you yield your will so that I may guide every step. When you place the steering wheel in my hands, you will see the road unfold with ease. Even in the storm, you will find a firm path. The pressure you feel is not designed to break you, but to shape you, making you stronger, sharper, and wiser. It is like the eagle whose wings grow firm only by facing the opposing wind. So it is with you. Only when you confront trials will you learn how to soar high in the strength I give. Do not see pressure as a burden, but as evidence that you are entering new ground where the old ways cannot contain what I am about to bring forth. Remember, every choice you make in this season will directly affect how quickly you step into the preparation I have set. If you hesitate, opportunities will pass you by. But if you walk in obedience, you will be astonished at the speed with which I move you forward. You will see doors open one after another, pathways revealed that you had never imagined. I have not called you to race against others, but to walk in rhythm with the cadence I have designed. And when you align with that rhythm, you will see that precision matters more than speed, and surrender weighs more than outward success. My child, this is the season of pruning. Just as a gardener carefully trims away the excess branches so that nourishment flows into good fruit, I too am cutting away what is unnecessary in your life. You may feel loss, but in truth you are being freed. Everything I remove is not taken to deprive you, but to make space for the new to flourish. I know what hinders you, what binds you, and I will not hesitate to strip it away so you may walk in freedom. Out of love, I will act swiftly so you will not miss your harvest. And when you look back, you will see that all I removed was nothing but weight you were never meant to carry. Therefore, my child, lift your head and walk in trust. Let your heart no longer waver at the shaking, but stand firm in the assurance that I hold all things in my hand. Though the world around you changes swiftly, I remain the same. Though the enemy presses hard, I am still the fortress that shelters you. Let your heartbeat align with mine, and your steps match the path I lead. You will see that this shift is not leading you astray, but bringing you directly into the center of my plan. And there you will discover not only safety, but also a power unleashed, carrying you into places beyond what you have ever dared to dream. Top of form. My beloved child, keep this truth close to your heart. I am moving swiftly, not because time is running out, but because my love for you is too great to allow further delay. I desire for you to enter into blessing power and calling at the appointed time. This is a moment of divine precision. Do not be afraid, only hold tightly to me. I will go with you. I will lift you up, and I will complete the work I have begun in you. My beloved, I know your mind often leans towards seeking explanations, calculating every step, and wanting to control all things before you dare to move forward. Yet if you continue to wait for full clarity, you will lose the golden moment I have prepared. I do not require you to understand everything I call you, simply to trust and walk. Just as Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going, yet through faith became the father of nations, so too are you called to walk in trust rather than calculation. You will see that when you step out in obedience, what I have prepared will unfold, though it may be hidden from your sight. Until then, your season is not bound by lack, for I have already finished the preparations. Everything you need is in place. The question is not whether you have all the conditions met, but whether you will dare to trust me and move forward. Look around you, the signs are pressing in on every side. Where sudden tension arises, it is not random, it is my voice resounding. I am stirring your soul so that you will not slumber in comfort and routine. Where unexpected loss appears, do not rush into lament, for I am shielding you from a danger unknown to you. There are things you think you must cling to, but if you hold them tightly, they will only draw you away from me. That is why I allow them to slip away, to protect you from the sweet snare of the enemy. And when you see sudden shifts, when your plans are overturned, know that I am calling you further beyond your safe boundaries. This is the moment I open a new path, inviting you into a deeper dimension of fellowship with me. Everything around you whispers that a new season is near. You cannot deny this change. Respond now. Do not delay, for hesitation will cause the opportunity to slip away. Just as Israel stood before the Red Sea, they had to step forward before the waters parted. So must you act before the outcome is revealed. You are witnessing the shaking of things once familiar and secure. This is not the work of darkness, but my intervention. I am deliberately shaking what you rely upon, so you will see that your true foundation is not built by human strength, but rests in me, the unchanging one. What you once trusted as a safe refuge, be it a job, a relationship, or long-term plans, is trembling, so you may know that only I am worthy of your full confidence. Remember, this disruption does not mean an end, but a beginning. I do not wish for you to depend on what is temporary, for if your heart anchors there, you will miss the greater gift I am giving. When I shake the ground beneath you, it is not to punish, but to draw your gaze back to me. I know that when all seems steady, you are tempted to trust the stability more than the one who gives it. Therefore, I allow the earth to tremble beneath your feet, not to destroy you, but to lift your eyes to find in me a foundation that cannot be shaken. Recall the scripture. We are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Hebrews 1:2-8. You are called to live in that kingdom where no storm can uproot the roots of faith. My beloved child, in this season, your response is the key. If you allow panic to take hold, you will miss the wonder I am working. But if you keep your heart at peace, listen, and walk in step with my leading, you will see that this change is truly an invitation to step into the promised land. Do not be afraid when the old walls collapse, for out of their ruins I will raise something new. Do not mourn the familiar bridges that are being cut off, for I am opening a greater path. The quicker you release your trust in what is fleeting, the sooner you will enter into the abundance I have prepared. Remember, I never take away without giving back something far greater. Every shaking is a reminder that I am leading you to a higher, wider, and more glorious place. You cannot cling to what is crumbling and at the same time step into what I am preparing. Let go, my child, and allow me to take hold of you. Let your faith be refined like gold in the fire, so that it may shine pure and radiant. As you trust me in the midst of the shaking, you will find my peace covering you, like armor shielding you from every arrow of doubt and fear. I will never leave you alone. Even when the ground trembles beneath you, I remain the rock that will not be moved under your feet. My beloved, this is the moment I long for your heart to be bound to me more than ever before. Do not search for stability in people or possessions, for they are but fading shadows. Fix your hope in me, the one who has promised and never fails. When your eyes are set on me, the turmoil around you will lose its power to unsettle you. You will stand firm not because circumstances are favorable, but because your soul is anchored in the one who does not change. Let this shaking be the sounding bell that awakens you to my present work. Obey without delay. Respond now, for I am unfolding a new season, one filled with my grace, my protection, and my glory poured upon you. And as you walk forward, you will realize that what you once thought was loss is nothing more than an exchange, so you may receive what is of greater worth. You will know that my hand has never left you, and that this very shaking is proof of my deep love for you, a love too great to allow you to remain bound to what cannot last. My child, I am shaking even the very room in which you sit, not to frighten or overwhelm you, but to awaken you to what I am doing. Every false foundation, every fragile sense of safety, every support you have leaned on will fall away. Do not see this collapse as emptiness, but as the clearing away that makes space for what is true. Remember, I am the one who never changes the foundation that cannot be shaken. If I did not shake, you would go on clinging to what no longer gives life, and you would remain trapped in an illusion of stability. But I love you too much to leave you in a small, confined place when I have destined you to become a temple filled with my glory. Know this: I cannot pour the fullness of myself into a life already crowded with distractions, anxieties, and priorities that do not come from me. If the vessel is already filled with the things of the world, how can I pour in the water of life? That is why I dismantle and clear away, why I remove in order to make space. What I desire is not perfection by worldly standards, but a heart wholly surrendered. I want your eyes fixed on me alone, your hands ready to release the old so you may embrace the new. A divided heart cannot contain my glory, but a heart fully yielded, even in weakness, becomes the precious vessel I choose to reveal my power. My beloved child, you are feeling the tension within. On one side lies the safety of what is familiar, and on the other, the call of the sacred. You are pulled between the stability of what you have always held on to and the adventure of trust into which I am inviting you. You long to keep both, yet I am a jealous God, and I will not allow you to choose what is lesser without heaven's intervention. Therefore, I permit thunder to echo in the midst of your stability. I allow the storm to rise within your safe place, so that you may see that only in me can true security be found. Do not fear the trembling, my child. It does not come to destroy you, but to awaken your soul. It is not punishment, but a summons. I am speaking to you. Do not lean upon cracked walls. Do not place your trust in pillars that are rotting away. Run to me, the one who never changes. Remember, I have declared I am the way, the truth, and the life. If you cling to what is false, you will be swept away when the winds come. But if you stand upon me, the solid rock, you will never be shaken, even when the world itself trembles. I am silencing the noise around you, so you may hear my voice clearly. I am tearing down false walls, so that you may find true freedom. You once thought that if what you leaned on were taken away, you would be left with emptiness. But I tell you, emptiness is only temporary, while the fullness I give is eternal. Just as a farmer must plow the soil, uproot the weeds, and break apart the hard ground before planting the seed, so am I working within your heart. You may see disruption, but that very disruption is preparation for the harvest that is coming. My beloved, trust that every shaking carries a purpose. If I allow it, it is a sign that I am drawing nearer to your life. Do not fear when the ground beneath your feet trembles, for I am the unshakable rock. Do not despair when what you once knew collapses, for I am building upon a new and stronger foundation. You will see that when everything you once trusted is stripped away, I remain, and I am enough for you. You have grown accustomed to a false stability, but I desire to give you true stability. You have sought safety in things that pass away, but I long to grant you everlasting security. That is why I shake, that is why I allow thunder to roar, because if I did not, you would never let go of the old. I love you too much to let you settle for the temporary when I have prepared for you the eternal. Listen to my voice in the storm, my child. Do not fear when all around you is shaken, for I am your stronghold. Run to me, for only in me is peace that no one can steal. Surrender fully so that your hands no longer cling to what decays, but are open to receive the treasure I long to give. And when you do, you will see that this shaking is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter 1 in which you step into my fullness, a fullness that can never be shaken. My beloved child, listen carefully, for this is the moment when I call you with an urgency never before known. Time no longer stretches before you, like an endless field in which you may wander at leisure. Those moments you thought were abundant, that you believed could be delayed, that you assumed you could postpone, are now folding quickly like the closing pages of a sacred book approaching its conclusion. You are walking in a season where every breath, every choice, every step carries the weight of eternity. Do not mistake my patience for endless delay. Grace is still here, but it is shifting from wide expanse into a narrow path that demands a decisive choice. My child, the space I have given you to reflect, to return, and to act upon, my call is still here, yet it is no longer as wide as it once was. The door has not closed, but it has begun to narrow, and only those who choose with determination to step through will continue onward. Where once there was limitless patience and boundless grace, the way now converges into a narrow passage where hesitation can no longer remain. You cannot move forward while still holding back, nor can you walk while wavering, for such indecision will keep you rooted in place as time presses swiftly ahead. Remember, I have been exceedingly patient with your delays. I have waited tenderly for your return, and I have generously extended new opportunities for you. Even when you missed them, I opened them once again. Yet now it is not because my love has diminished, but because the season has shifted. What I have prepared for you requires an urgent response. If you continue to hesitate, you will find yourself left behind as my people advance. Like the 10 virgins in the parable, 5 who were wise had their lamps and oil ready, while the 5 who delayed were left outside the wedding feast. You must not take this moment lightly, for everything is approaching faster than you imagine. The river of grace that once seemed like an endless expanse of still waters is now flowing as a strong current. It has not vanished, but it will no longer allow you to drift aimlessly. It is carrying you forward, urging you to move with greater speed, strength, and resolve. If you cling to the old shores, the current will feel fierce because it will not permit you to linger where you once stood. But if you surrender and let yourself flow with it, you will be carried precisely to the place I have destined for you. My child, I know this urgency may feel like pressure, but do not confuse pressure with disorderly haste. This is not reckless urgency, but divine precision. When seasons shift, I act in perfect timing. When the door opens, it does not remain open forever. When the wind blows, it does not blow endlessly. Therefore, my call to you is this: step forward now. Do not wait any longer. Do not seek false safety and delay. Every moment you hold back is another moment the opportunity shortens. Beloved one, I have given you a long season of preparation. I have allowed you to learn, to experience, and to be tested so you might grow. But preparation cannot stretch on without end. The time has come for action. You cannot remain on the shore forever watching from a distance. You must step into the waters as Peter did when he left the boat, even while the storm raged around him. Had he hesitated, he would never have known what it was to walk on the sea with me. And so it is with you. If you do not move forward in this calling, Now you will never behold the glory I have appointed for you. Engrave this truth on your heart. I speak not to drive you by fear, but to awaken you to the value of this very hour. I do not want you to live in regret for what has passed. I long for you to walk into the fullness of what I have promised. You are not alone on this journey. My Spirit is urging, lifting, and guiding you. But you must be the one to choose decisively. No one else can utter your yes in this moment, but you. My child, do not see the narrowing as a limitation, but as direction. When the path is wide, it is easy to wander, but when the path is narrow, you know you are walking the right way. I am leading you into a place where only the resolute can enter, where distraction falls away, and where your gaze is fixed solely on me. It is on this road that you will witness my strength, my protection, and my glory revealed as never before. So rise now, my beloved, respond while there is still time. Let your heart no longer waver between lesser choices, but choose me, choose life, choose what is eternal. For one decision today can alter the course of eternity. And I, the one who has loved you from the beginning, will walk with you in every urgent step until you enter the fullness of what I have promised. Beloved, I have not left you empty or lacking, for everything you need for this journey I have already placed within you. The strength you seek is not somewhere distant, but alive inside you, waiting to be revealed. Clarity does not come from the noise of haste, but from the stillness where you pause and listen. And it is within the very shaking that you will receive undeniable confirmation that I am at work, and that what seems to be crumbling is only clearing the way for the new. But remember, the step forward is still yours to take. No one can do it for you. I have prepared, I have given, I have stirred your heart, yet the choice to go forth is a decision only you can make. My beloved child, do not think that I am urging you out of anger. No, this call does not come from judgment, but from an urgent love. I know that the time is drawing near, and the final stretch of preparation is about to come to an end. This is the last stage before a great unveiling is released. That is why I press upon you to remain awake and to move forward, for if you continue to cling to what I have already asked you to lay down, you will miss the door that is being opened for you alone. Do not think that this narrowing is punishment. It is my act of love to purify you, to strip away what is unnecessary, leaving only what has been refined, worthy of the greatness that lies ahead. My precious one, I am refining your faith, for faith cannot be mere words upon your lips. It must be tested, it must pass through fire, so that when you stand before glory, it will not be fragile, but will shine like pure gold that has been refined. I am also testing your resolve so that you may know in whom you truly place your trust. For you cannot walk through a great door while still wavering within, while still torn between me and fleeting things. That is why I allow you to go through shaking, so you may choose, so you may prove that you truly desire to follow me to the end. Do not be afraid when I strip away what is no longer useful. Do not grieve when I require you to release what you once relied on. I do not take away to leave you empty, but to prepare you for a purpose so great that not everyone is invited to walk into. This is not a path for all, but for those willing to pay the price, willing to surrender, willing to follow the call without turning back. Understand this, you are being trained not only for the present, but for an eternal glory. My beloved, recognize this. It is in the moments when you feel weak that true strength will flow. It is when you feel uncertain that real light will break forth. It is in trials that your faith will become strong and unshakable. Do not underestimate what you are going through. Every step, no matter how small, is part of the process I am using to prepare the way for you. When you are willing to let go of the old, you will see the vastness of the new. When you are willing to surrender temporary security, you will taste the eternal assurance that comes from me. Therefore, walk forward. Do not remain only in hearing, but respond. Do not let days pass without any stirring in your heart. Do not let the door close while you are still holding tightly to what I have asked you to release. Remember, every narrowing is not punishment, but a sign that I am bringing you through a purified passage so that when you step in, you will no longer be entangled by trivial things, but ready to carry a great responsibility. My beloved, from the beginning I have never ceased speaking to you. Yet I do not always use what your natural ears expect. I do not only reveal myself through thunderous sounds or visible signs, but many times I choose to whisper in stillness to reach the innermost part of your soul. You long for a voice that shakes the heavens, but I often come as a gentle breeze, a warm breath, a tender rhythm passing through your heart. You do not realize that it is in that very stillness where I engrave most deeply, for noise quickly fades, but silence leaves a lasting imprint. I have left traces deeply etched in your memory, fragments that seem scattered but are in truth a woven thread of my messages. In unexpected conversations, in words you overheard yet could not shake off, there I was sending signals. In delays that seemed pointless, when your plans were held back, it was not by chance but my gentle warning to pause and consider. You thought you were facing inconveniences, but in reality I was shielding you, keeping you from hidden dangers ahead. Every restless stirring without reason, every sudden wave of emotion you could not explain, these were my knocks upon your heart. They are the signals I planted within your spirit to awaken the depths you often overlook. When your ears did not hear, I stirred you through feeling. When your mind ignored instruction, I let your heart be unsettled so you would know something required your attention. I never cease finding ways to reach you, because I know that with just one moment of your openness, the river of life will flow and renew everything. My beloved child, I have been nearer to you than your very breath. I am not distant, nor have I abandoned you amidst the sea of humanity. In every ordinary moment, when you work, when you laugh, when you sigh in weariness, I am there whispering beside you, striving to break through the layers of noise that surround you. I know this world grows ever louder, your schedule ever more crowded, and your cares sweep over you like a relentless flood. Yet even in the midst of these currents, I have not let go. I choose to speak in the rare pauses where you linger long enough to notice my presence. At times it is in your loneliness, at times in the late hours when no one is near, at times when exhaustion forces you to gasp for breath. These pauses I turn into altars of my presence, so that you may know, though you forget me, I have never once forgotten you. Look back, and you will see the moments of my intervention. When you were confused yet suddenly received a word of encouragement, that was me. When you set out in one direction but were stopped, that was me. When a stirring arose in your heart without clear reason, that too was me. Do not think I dwell only in sacred hours of worship or within the walls of a temple. I am present in every heartbeat, every tear, every sigh. I speak through the ordinary to show you that I never depart from you. My beloved child, I know how much this world has stolen your attention. Its constant clamor makes it hard for you to hear my whisper. But I will not give up. If you cannot hear me in gentleness, I will speak through trembling. If you do not find me in joy, I will let you discover me in tears. If you fail to see me in the brightness of day, I will cause you to see me in the stillness of night. Every circumstance, every shift, every emotion is no accident. All are instruments I use to draw you nearer. Do not keep waiting for a thunderous voice from heaven to confirm that I speak. If you expect only the extraordinary, you will miss the simple yet profound ways I am shaping you day by day. I am the Almighty God, yet I am also a tender Father. A father does not always shout. He whispers, teaching his child to listen. Only when you learn to listen do you truly turn your eyes and your heart toward me. And in that stillness you will find the clarity, peace, and assurance you have been seeking. Therefore, learn to pause. Create sacred silences in your day where you lay aside all noise and listen only for my voice. You will be astonished to realize I was always there waiting for you to notice. Every trace, every whisper, every stirring in your spirit points to one truth: I have never left you, and I am calling you back into complete union with me. Do not let the world steal your ability to hear. Make room for me, for I am the source of life, the only one who can calm every storm within you. My beloved child, you often cry out that you long to hear, my voice that you want, my guidance and direction. But pause and consider. How many times have I already spoken to you? How many signs, reminders, and signals have I planted in your heart? I have spoken through upheaval, through joy, through tears, through your loneliest hours, even through moments that seemed like silence. The question now is not whether I will keep speaking, but whether this time you will choose to respond. I am merciful, yet I do not repeat endlessly the same call when the next step already stands ready for you to take. If you keep delaying, if you demand further proof, yet fail to act on what has already been given, you will remain outside while the door of revelation stands open to those willing to enter. Understand this, my child. Your response is the key to whether I reveal more or whether I stop there. It is not because my love is limited, but because I will never force a soul to receive what it refuses to embrace. When you ignore the signs I send you, turn away the very opportunity to go deeper. But when you respond, even with a single small step of faith, I will unveil more, lead with greater clarity, and draw you further into wisdom and power. Each act of obedience opens a new door. Each choice to listen makes my voice clearer. You cannot ask for greater light if you have not yet walked in the lesser light I have already given. Many times you have accused me, saying, "Why do I hear nothing? Why does silence cover me?" But you do not realize that this silence is not abandonment, but a sacred invitation. It compels you to go deeper, to move beyond the noise of the world and the clamor of your own heart in order to discover my whisper. Silence is not emptiness, but the environment in which you learn discernment. Among the countless voices echoing in your mind, only those who truly hunger will recognize my voice hidden within the stillness. If you continue waiting for a loud sound to force your attention, you will miss the value of the training in this season. For what lies ahead in your life will require a sharper sensitivity than ever before, and you can only acquire that sensitivity in the gentle whispers that demand your full trust to hear. My child, you think I will endlessly repeat myself until you obey, but I desire your maturity, not a life bound in spiritual infancy. A child must be told again and again, but a grown one responds immediately when the Father speaks. This is what I am forming in you, spiritual maturity, so that you will no longer need earthquakes to awaken you, but will move with the faintest breath of my spirit. What is coming on your path will not always be marked by obvious signs, but by delicate stirrings, subtle impressions, and drops of oil so small that only attentive eyes and hearts can perceive them. You will not be able to go forward if you do not learn to trust, even when I speak only through the smallest sign. Beloved, true faith is not believing after seeing, but walking while everything remains obscure, trusting that I am still leading the way. That is why I allow silence to remain, why I let signals be fragile, to teach you that trust does not always come with rational certainty, but always with the assurance in your heart that I am faithful. When you learn this, you will no longer rely on the noise of signs and wonders, but you will grow in spiritual sensitivity, able to follow me even through the darkest valleys. My dear one, pause and reflect. How many times have you overlooked my voice simply because it did not arrive as you expected? You awaited thunder, but I chose a whisper. You longed for a dazzling wonder, but I planted within you a restlessness without clear cause. You wanted a precise answer, but I closed a door abruptly. And none of these were signs of abandonment, but different ways I used to turn you back. The question is no longer whether I speak, but whether you will respond. Therefore, my child, learn to respond now, Begin to move the moment you sense the slightest prompting. Do not wait for confirmation a second or third time, for true maturity does not come from repetition but from obedience at the first call. Each time you step forward, the next door will open. Each time you respond, you will be drawn closer to the fullness of revelation. But if you continue to delay, you will miss the wonder I have already prepared. Beloved, I am not saying this to press you into a corner, but to release you into a life of meaning. I do not want you endlessly circling always, longing to hear yet never answering. I want you to become my close companion, one who catches every signal, every breath, every heartbeat of mine. This is the high calling I have set before you. And to reach it, I speak once more today: respond. Do not wait any longer. Trust even when all you hear is a faint whisper. For what is ahead will demand that you walk in absolute trust, not resting on external noise, but on the inner assurance that I am always near, always speaking, always guiding you in the right direction. My beloved child, I have heard every prayer you have lifted, every sob you have whispered in the night, every cry for me to transform your life, to bring meaning from broken pieces, to shatter the cycles you know you cannot escape on your own. Do not doubt I have not only listened, but have shared in your pain. I have stooped down to weep with you, to feel the anguish as if it were my own. Every tear you shed I have preserved as treasure, every groan I have recorded in heaven's book. Not a single prayer of yours has vanished into the void, for I am the one who knows you fully and loves you more deeply than anyone else ever could. And now I am acting to respond. But you must understand, I will never confine myself to the patterns you have imagined. My beloved child, the transformation you long for does not come in the gentle form you imagine. It does not arrive wrapped like a gift in splendid ribbons, but often appears clothed in discomfort, wrapped in trials, and hidden in what seems contrary to your expectations. You ask for deliverance, and I come to break your chains, yet at first glance that freedom may appear as loss. You cry out for me to make a way, and I do, but sometimes the path unfolds as a narrow, winding passage, one that requires you to bow low and learn humility. You seek comfort, and I grant it, yet it often comes through a mighty wind, shaking everything around you so that true peace may descend. Do not let your eyes be deceived by appearances. What seems like chaos is in truth a carefully crafted strategy of heaven. Just as a potter breaks apart hardened clay to form a beautiful vessel, so am I breaking down the old within you to shape something new. You see disorder, but I see divine arrangement. You see pain, but I see the birthing of a new season. You see delay, but I know it is a sacred detour, a safe road I have designed to shield you from dangers yet unseen. If I allowed you to take the shortest path, you might be struck by the enemy's arrows waiting ahead. That is why I sometimes lead you through the long way around, not to hinder you, but to preserve you whole until the day my glory is revealed. My dear one, remember this. I never forget what I have promised. When you ask me for change, I not only hear, but I also design a plan, yet that plan does not always align with your expectations. Just as Israel cried out to be delivered from slavery, I heard, and sent Moses to rescue them, but their journey to the promised land was not a short, direct route. It was a long passage through the wilderness, a place where they learned to trust me and allow me to be their God. So it is with you. Your transformation will not be a sudden miracle that changes all in a moment, but a process where I break chains one by one, dismantle old habits piece by piece, and lay down a firm foundation for something greater to come. Do not despise the disruption you see. It may look like a storm, but within the storm I am planting seeds of a new season. Do not be afraid when your own plans collapse, for at times I must take away what is temporary in order to give you what is lasting. Do not lose heart when you sense delays in your steps, for I know the moments when you need to rest. when you must learn patience, and when you need to be hidden for a time so you will not be destroyed. Every delay, every shift, every unexpected turn is part of my loving care for you. My beloved, I am turning your sorrow into meaning. You will one day look back and see that not a single tear was wasted, not one weary day was in vain. Each became a stone I used to build your path, preparing you for a mission only you can carry. You will realize that in the very moments you thought you were collapsing, I was right there holding you, carrying out a great work of transformation. And when the day of glory comes, you will see that the old sorrows have become the strongest testimony of my love and my power. Stand firm in this moment. Do not let your eyes settle only on the chaos, but look with faith to see my hand arranging all things. Do not let fear take root in your heart because of delay, but trust that I am leading you on a hidden path of protection. Do not let your mind waver because of discomfort, but remember, it is merely the covering I place over change, so that when you cast it off, glory will be revealed. My child, what you long for is near, and it is coming in a way that calls you to trust me more, to love me deeper, and to yield more fully. Therefore, do not fear, do not shrink back. You have asked, I have listened, and now I am responding. Though you may not recognize it, every tremor you feel is a step guiding you closer to freedom. And one day you will sing with joy, for you will see that all I have done, no matter how strange it seemed, was the perfect strategy of heaven to make your life a living testimony of my eternal love, kindness, and power. My beloved, stop deceiving yourself by pretending that everything is fine, that you are strong and unshaken. I have seen through the masks you wear before the world. I have seen the pain you try to bury beneath endless busyness, distracting yourself from the wounds that ache in silence. I have seen the fear hidden in your heart, carefully concealed beneath outward success. Others may admire you, may praise your resilience and accomplishments, but I know the truth that deep within your soul you still tremble, still yearn to be loved, to be healed, to be embraced just as you are. My child, the revelation I bring today is not meant to shame you, nor to expose you before the world, but to set you free from a life lived behind masks that have long hidden the light. You were never created to remain trapped in the roles society, family, or circumstances have forced upon you. You are not the product of imposed expectations, nor are you defined by past mistakes. You belong to me, and only I have the authority to call you by name. That is why I am calling you out of the darkness of the cave, where you once hid, out of the background where you tried to shrink yourself, out of the distorted definitions you accepted just to survive in the former season. My beloved, I am gently removing each mask you have worn to blend in. Those masks may have helped you endure for a time, but they are no longer meant for you. I do not want you to continue living in pretense, for pretense blinds you from recognizing who you truly are in the light. I have come to strip away false identities, every disguise, every layer of self-protection you built to hide. I do this not to expose your weakness, but to reveal the beauty I placed in you from the very beginning. Do not fear when I remove what you have grown accustomed to, for I never take away to leave you empty. When I take away, it is to return to you your true identity, so you may live in the freedom I have destined. You will no longer live under the definition of silence, suppressing your voice out of fear of judgment. You will no longer live under the shadow of shame, believing past mistakes robbed you of worth. You will no longer be bound in endless striving as if life were only a cycle of never being enough. I am revealing your true self, untainted, unbound, unhindered, created in my love and power. My beloved, remember that truth will set you free. You need not hide from me, for I already know everything. I am not shocked by your wounds, nor do I condemn your stumbles. I come to wipe your tears, to bind your wounds, to raise you up, and to restore you to the identity I first gave you. From this day forward, you will learn to live not for the expectations of others, but for the divine calling I have placed within you. You will no longer need masks to be accepted for. My love alone defines your value. You will know what true freedom is when you live as the one I created. Nothing lacking, nothing excessive, perfectly shaped for my purpose, my child. My mercy is setting you free. I reveal you not to diminish you, but to lift you higher. I call you not to terrify you, but to lead you into confidence that comes from knowing you are loved without condition. You will no longer live as one hiding in the shadows, but as a lamp set on a stand shining for many to see. When you dare to lay aside the mask, when you choose to live authentically, you will become a living testimony to the world that I can transform anyone from one once broken into a vessel of grace. Hear me clearly today. My child, step out. Leave behind the old cave of hiding. Step out from the background and into the light. Let me remove every burden that does not belong to you. Embrace your true identity. You are, my child, loved, chosen, and destined to bear my image to the world. You no longer need to live behind any mask, for I, myself, am revealing the real you, the one I loved and set apart from the very beginning for a sacred purpose no one else can replace. My beloved, I am patiently dismantling the layers you have carefully built around your pain. Those walls you constructed as a fortress to protect yourself have also imprisoned your joy, extinguished your light, and blocked peace from taking root. You have lived behind those barriers so long that you thought you were fine, but I know the truth. I see the hidden wounds. I feel the trembling of your heart. And now I am removing stone by stone, layer by layer, not to leave you exposed, but to let you breathe again so joy can take root in good soil and blossom once more. The healing you long for will never come through hiding. Avoidance only makes the wounds bleed in silence, enlarging the emptiness within. I call you out not to increase your pain, but to lead you into truth where my light can shine into the deepest corners you thought no one could see. You cannot be healed while pretending nothing is wrong, nor can you taste true freedom while concealing what is draining you day by day. Remember, this truth does not bring shame. Truth brings freedom. And I am the one who uses truth to cleanse, to heal, and to make new. Open your heart and let me enter the rooms you have locked away. You have kept them in darkness, hidden from anyone's touch, and even you have been afraid to face them. You sealed away the memories, the words that broke you, the moments that caused you to collapse. Yet, my child, I have been standing at that door, gently knocking day after day, waiting for you to open it. I do not come with condemnation, nor do I come with whip or rod, but with hands bearing the marks of nails and a heart overflowing with mercy. If you open the door, my light will flood in, driving out the darkness that has lingered for years. The rooms that once reeked of disappointment will become filled with the fragrance of life. I also desire to enter into the conversations you have never dared to voice with anyone. There are things you have never spoken, fearing that if you did, others would mock you or fail to understand. But I not only hear, I fully understand. I have heard your sobs in the midnight hours. I have seen the thoughts you never dared to put into words. You do not need to hide from me. You do not need to filter your words or paint over the truth to protect me from grief. You may speak it all, even through tears, through anger, through the wreckage of your soul. I am not unfamiliar with such emotions, for I, myself, carried the sorrows of humanity on the cross. You cannot shock me, nor can you drive me away. I invite you into honesty, so that what you cannot share with others may be poured out safely into my presence. My child, I long to rewrite the part of you that has been too afraid to hope again. You once held hope, but when it shattered, you swore to yourself that you would never dare to trust again. You reasoned that if you never expected, you would never be disappointed. Yet in rejecting hope, something within you has slowly died. I do not blame you. I know why you came to that place. But today I desire to breathe life into the flame of hope within your heart once more. I want you to believe that good can still come, that miracles still exist, that your future is not lost. I will rewrite your story, not on the foundation of failure, but on the foundation of grace. You will hope again, but this time not with fragile expectation placed on people or circumstances, but with a secure hope anchored in me, the one who never breaks his promise. And my child, you do not need to protect me from your truth. Many times you have thought, if he knew everything, he would surely be disappointed in me. He would no longer love me. But my dear one, I already know. Before your confession I knew. Before you hid it, I saw it. And I did not turn away. On the contrary, it is precisely because I know all that I draw even nearer. My love does not depend on your perfection, but on my endless mercy. You do not need to present a polished version of yourself in order to come to me. You only need to come as you are with your cracks, your wounds, your tears, and I will do the rest. Beloved, be courageous and let go. Allow me to strip away the disguises so that my light may touch you. Let me enter the locked doors so that my life may flow through. Let me rewrite the story so that hope may rise again, and believe that even though you have been shattered, I can make all things new. Then you will come to know what it means to have joy that is not dictated by circumstances, peace that surpasses all understanding, and love without condition holding you day by day. My beloved, I see that you have endured a long season of merely surviving. You have lived caught in the weary cycle of repetition, allowing your soul to be lulled by the familiarity of routine. Day after day you kept functioning outwardly, but deep inside you felt numb, unable to hear the call that has echoed since the beginning, the great purpose I planted in your heart before you were even formed. You assumed those whispers were fleeting thoughts, faint echoes, but they were in fact the eternal call from heaven. And my child, I cannot allow you to remain asleep in the false comfort of safety, while heaven itself is rising with the greatest mission you will ever know in your lifetime. The noise around you is growing louder, not to confuse you, but to sharpen the vision within you. Just as a diamond is polished under pressure, the vision I have placed in you can only become clear when it is refined through collision and trial. You once prayed and asked me to show you the path you should take, and this is my answer, not through ease but through shaking. I have permitted this shaking not to destroy, but to awaken the dormant potential, the hidden desires, and the flames you thought had gone out. My child, you have walked with a fragile flame, sometimes bright, sometimes fading, flickering between faith and doubt. You have allowed your soul to be tied to circumstances, waiting for something outside of you to change before daring to ignite again. But my child, true faith does not come from passive waiting. It comes from stepping forward with courage. You have longed for an external hand to rekindle your fire, yet I desire that the flame rise from within you. You have grown accustomed to waiting for an event, a miracle, a grand occurrence to stir your heart, but I tell you now, it is I who will kindle the fire within you through the coming storm. Do not fear the storm. It has not come to extinguish you, but to set you ablaze. Just as strong winds fan a small ember into a roaring flame, this storm will not drown you, but will awaken the fire I planted within. I know you feel weak, as though all that remains is a flicker, barely enough to keep you warm. But my child, I do not despise that flicker. I am the one who can turn it into a blazing torch, the one who transforms fragility into strength and smallness into a light for many. All I ask is that you place it in my hands and allow me to breathe into it the breath of life. Beloved, I did not create you merely to survive. I did not fashion you to stumble from one day to the next in shallow existence. I called you to be alive, fully alive. You once thought that being alive meant more joy, more opportunities, more success. But I tell you, True life is when your spirit burns in unity with me, when every breath you take carries eternal significance, when every step you walk reflects my light. You may have lost that vitality once, but I have come to restore it not just as it was, but deeper, stronger, and everlasting. Let this shaking not discourage you, but awaken you. Do not let the noise of the world drag you away from me, but let it remind you that only in me will you find true clarity. Do not wait for another sign, for I have already given you everything. This storm comes to reveal that the time has come for you to awaken. You will no longer hold a fragile spark, but you will become a torch shining for those still wandering in the dark. You will know what it means to carry strength that rises from within, not from circumstances, not from others, but from my spirit moving in you. My child, I want you alive again, not halfway, but wholly. I long for your heart to beat in rhythm with mine, for your eyes to shine with trust, for your hands to be lifted in surrender, and for your feet to walk firmly in my calling. You will discover that true life is not built from what you gather outwardly, but from the source of life I have placed within you. And when you truly live, you will become a testimony to the world that I am the living one, the one who turns ashes into embers, who transforms a small flicker into a blazing flame. Beloved, I want you to know that you are standing at the threshold of a completely new revelation of who you are. You have seen yourself through the lens of weakness, failure, and scars left by the past. But I see a different image within you, one stronger, wiser, steadfast, and no longer bound by fear. That version of you has always been there from the beginning when I created you in my perfect design. Now I am bringing you closer to that true self, so you may know that what I saw in you from the start has never changed. Do not fear the wind, for it has not come to destroy, but to cleanse. Do not tremble when the sky tears open, for it is a sign that awakening has begun. A new chapter cannot start until the old curtain is drawn down. You may feel the violent shaking as though a storm has broken in, but it is in that very storm that what has long been dormant within you will awaken. No hiding place will remain. Every wall you built for protection is now cracking. Every excuse you once held onto collapses under the weight of the divine urgency I am releasing. And this is the moment you can no longer deny, the moment you must face the truth. I have called you to something greater, deeper, and more glorious than anything you have ever imagined. My beloved child, I have pursued you not with harshness or anger, but with a love so fierce that it cannot remain silent. I have waited with patience, yet my love cannot linger endlessly outside the door. It presses forward, reaching out, always seeking to break through the distance you have built. You once believed love was merely gentleness, but the love I hold for you is more than that. It is strong, relentless, and refuses to let you remain in mediocrity when you were created for the extraordinary. It is this very love that drives me to pursue you endlessly, even when you turn away, even when you flee, even when you deny yourself. My child, allow this love to embrace you, even when it unsettles you, for it pulls you out of what is familiar. Allow it to shatter every excuse, every justification to which you cling. Allow it to awaken your soul, for I do not desire that you merely survive in half measures. I long for you to live abundantly, to live fully in the purpose I designed for you. The time has come for you to step into your true self, no longer bound by fear, no longer defined by the opinions of others, but completely free in me. You will soon see that this is not just a season of transition. This is a turning point, the beginning of a new journey. You will learn to stand tall without trembling. You will learn to face the future without the chains of the past. You will learn to trust my voice even when the winds howl and the heavens shake. And then you will discover that what you once thought was the end is in truth the beginning of a new chapter filled with hope. My beloved child, I am calling you to step forward, for the true version of yourself, strong, wise, and courageous, has waited far too long to be revealed. Do not delay any longer. This is the moment. This is the appointed time I have set. And be assured of this, I, the one who has pursued you with unending love, will never let you go. I will walk beside you, guide you, and bring to completion the work I have begun in you until the day of fulfillment. My beloved, I see clearly the invisible walls you have built around your heart. Each brick was laid with old wounds, with words that cut deep, with stumbles that convinced you you were no longer worthy. You believed that by building these walls you would be safer, shielded from further pain. Yet, my child, it is these very walls that imprison your soul, extinguish your joy, and drain the life within you. I have not come to condemn you for raising such barriers. I have come to tear them down, for I know you cannot be truly free while locked inside the cage of your own making. I see how weary you have grown from walking in the same repetitive cycles. Those endless loops have drained your joy and left your life feeling like an empty wheel turning in vain. You have tried many ways to escape, only to find yourself back where you began, like one lost in a maze with no exit. Many times you have asked yourself, is this all my life will ever be? But hear me, my child, the answer is no. You were not created to live in the suffocating cycle of weariness. I long to lead you out, to take you into an entirely new journey, one where life flows again, where joy springs forth like a clear stream after a season of drought. My child, there are parts of you that have been buried too long beneath the dust of fear, shame, and the years of merely struggling to survive. You thought those parts were dead beyond redemption, but I am here to breathe new life into them. I will stir awake the dreams you thought had withered, the desires you believed were gone, the flames you assumed had turned to ashes. Just as the wind breathes upon hidden embers until they burst into fire again, so will my breath ignite your soul. I desire for you not merely to endure, but to live fully, to live with strength, with abundance, and with the purpose I planted in you from the very beginning. My beloved child, what I seek from you is not perfection. I am not waiting for you to be fully prepared, not holding back, until you have put every detail of your life in order. For if I waited for the day you became flawless before drawing near, that day would never come. All I ask is your willingness, a heart open, a breath surrendered, a whisper that says, "Come in." That is all I long for. The rest I will do. I do not ask you to fix yourself, for I alone am the healer. I do not demand you solve every burden, for I alone am the waymaker. Let me in, my child. Let me touch the places you have never dared to let anyone see. Let me speak the things you have forced down for years, the things you fear would make you despised if they were brought to light. I do not come to scorn, but to lift the burden. I do not come to rehearse your faults, but to wash you and make you new. Let me lead you out from what is weighing you down, from the chains you have worn so long that you have come to think they are part of you. Beloved child, I have seen your future. I know what is being weighed on the scales. You may see only the fragments of the present, but I see the whole picture. You may see only a rough and thorny road, but I see the glory waiting at the end. You must not judge yourself by your present state, for I have appointed for you a destiny beyond all imagining. That is why I do not cease to persevere. I do not give up even when you hesitate, delay, or refuse. My love is so strong that it will not let me sit by while you continue to live beneath what I have ordained. My child, you cannot wait until every outward circumstance becomes perfect. You cannot wait for the day when fear entirely disappears, or when every burden slips away on its own, for that day will never come. This world will never be perfect. Yet right in the midst of imperfection and confusion, I call you to walk, not when you are strong, but when you are weak, not when you feel sufficient, but when you are empty. For my power is made perfect in your weakness, and precisely in your surrender, you will see me do what is beyond all you could imagine. Therefore, open your heart, let go. Let me break down the wall of resistance so that new life can flood in. Let me lead you out of the cycle that has drained your soul. Let me rekindle the flame that has gone out and restore what you thought could never be restored. Do not wait any longer. Do not search for perfection out there. Right now, in this very circumstance, I am speaking, let me in. Beloved, I am doing a delicate and profound work within you, a work you may not fully grasp at this very moment. I am retraining your natural instincts, so they are no longer ruled by fear, pressure, or worn-out habits, but reshaped to the rhythm of heaven. I am refining your sight, so your eyes are no longer fixed on what is immediate and passing, but open to what is great, enduring, and beyond the present moment. I am also reordering your priorities, so you can discern what carries eternal weight and what is only a fleeting shadow. You are being reoriented to walk the right path instead of chasing things that leave your soul exhausted. This is not delay as you suppose. This is deliverance, quiet yet powerful. I am rescuing you from pressures you were never meant to carry. You have taken up burdens that are not yours, striving to prove, to maintain, to please, but, my child, I never called you to live under that strain. I myself am the one who bears the load for you. I desire to free you from what is unnecessary, so that you may live in the true freedom I have ordained. I am also rescuing you from tasks that seem good, but do not originate from me. You once believed that anything good was worth pursuing, but not every good thing is from me. Some things only keep you busy, drain your strength and your time, yet do not bring you any closer to the sacred purpose. My child, I will cut away those good things to make room for what is right, what is aligned with the intent I set for you. When I hold you back from something, do not think I am taking opportunity from you. Trust that I am guarding you from misdirection so you do not waste your life on what makes only a momentary echo and leaves no eternal imprint. Moreover, I am setting you free from relationships that do not nourish your soul, from those who prop up what is distorted in you rather than urge you into your true calling. Some stand beside you only to keep you in the shadow of the past rather than propel you forward into the light of the present. Some support you only to preserve the old version of you, not to call forth the person I intended you to be. I love you too much to let you remain bound by those ties. So if you see certain relationships fall away, if some people suddenly drift from your side, know, my child, that this is not abandonment but my mercy at work. My child, this interruption is in fact mercy at work. You may see it as a delay, as a dead end, but in truth it is my protection and arrangement. Perhaps right now you do not understand it, but one day when you look back you will realize how many dangers you were spared from, how many wrong turns you avoided, simply because I kept you still. You will thank me for those seasons you once deemed meaningless, for they were actually the firm foundation for the harvest to come. The moments I held you back were the very times heaven was moving behind the curtain, preparing the doors, the people, and the opportunities that you were not yet ready to receive. At this very moment, I know you feel tense. You want to act, to do something, anything, just to prove your worth, to show that you are not idle. You long to build, to create, to run with all your might so that you can demonstrate your progress. But my child, your value is not measured by how much you can accomplish. It is defined by whose you are. You don't need to prove to the world that you are worthy, for you have already been sealed by me and called mine from the very beginning. There is nothing more you must do to earn more of my love. My love is already complete. My grace is already sufficient. And my plan for you is still unfolding, even when you think you're standing still. My child, this waiting season you are enduring is not wasted. It is preparation. It is the furnace where your faith is refined, where patience is shaped, and where your vision is sharpened. Do not despise the days when there seem to be no results. Do not lose heart when the doors remain closed. For it is precisely in those seemingly uneventful days that I am planting the seeds of a great harvest. And when the time comes, everything will bloom so swiftly that you will be in awe, realizing that not a single moment was wasted when you were in my hands. My child, I know your eyes often focus on what can be seen and heard, but I look straight into the roots, into the depths of your heart. Beneath what appears to be stable, I see the well-worn paths creeping in like invisible cords tightening around your soul. They are not loud, they don't storm in like tempests, but they quietly drain your strength, slowly dulling the purity of your first faith. You call them small things or flexibility, or even letting it go, but I see clearly that they are compromises eating away at the foundation I've laid in you. The things you justify in the secret place are becoming cords that steer your choices, robbing you of the full freedom you once walked in. I do not speak to you in anger, but I warn you, because I know the destructive power these tiny seeds of compromise can bring if allowed to take root. My child, understand this. Anything you tolerate will not remain small. It will grow, it will dig roots, and one day it will bind you. What seems like just a little today will one day become shackles that keep your feet from walking the path I have destined for you. What you consider harmless now may eventually cost you the most precious parts of who you are, demanding a price far greater than you ever imagined. I speak to you today not to frighten you, but to rescue you from a future bound in regret, a future where you'll wish you had turned back sooner. Because I know your destiny is far greater than these compromises. I see ahead what you cannot yet see. I know the steps you are meant to take. That is why I cannot remain silent when I see those subtle concessions creeping in, weakening your faith from within. Remember, my child, the enemy doesn't always come roaring from the start. Often he begins with sweet whispers, logical excuses, seemingly harmless thoughts. He knows that if he can shift your direction by just a little over time, he can take the whole of your heart. Think of a tiny seed. When planted, it will eventually take root. If it is a holy seed from me, it will yield abundant life. But if it is a seed of compromise, it will grow into choking vines that drain nourishment, leaving your inner garden dry and lifeless. I do not wish to see the soil of your spirit overtaken by such ugly roots. I come to uproot, to cleanse, and to make room for new life to spring forth. So, my child, I call you now, surrender it to me. Do not wait until these compromises have rooted so deeply that you can no longer pull them out on your own. Do not wait until you are overwhelmed by the very chains you allowed to grow. Hand them to me today while the door of deliverance is still wide open, while my hands are still stretched out toward you. I do not seek perfection from you. I seek honesty and willingness. I do not come to condemn. I come to save. It is my love that compels me to remind you. I cannot look away as you walk toward a path that leads to captivity. Believe that this warning does not come from harshness, but from mercy. I see within you a strength, a calling, a light that you have not yet fully recognized. I do not want any compromise to steal that light away. I do not want you to become a victim of half-hearted choices. You were destined to walk in wholeness, in freedom, in the power that I have given you. Therefore, this warning is my mercy, my hand reaching out to keep you from falling into the abyss. Reflect on this. What is it that you are still holding on to, still justifying, even though deep within you know it does not come from me? What do you call just once, but has been repeated too many times to be called insignificant? What do you think you control, but in truth, it has already begun to control you? I invite you to face these things with courage, not by your own strength, but by mine. Allow me to enter. Let my light shine and let the darkness retreat. My child, do not take lightly the small cracks, for they can be the very places the enemy exploits to destroy an entire structure. Do not dismiss compromises that seem harmless, for they will gradually turn into chains. Yet do not be afraid, for I am here. I warn you not to make you tremble, but to give you a way of escape. I have come to dismantle, to set free, to rebuild upon a solid foundation. I have come to restore to you the freedom you have been losing little by little through compromise. My beloved, listen carefully. I do not merely want you to avoid compromise. I want you to walk in integrity. I want you to live a life undivided, a heart that belongs wholly to me, not pulled apart by worthless distractions. This is the path of true freedom, of deep peace, and of unshakable joy. Let my words today be like a sword cutting through the invisible cords that bind you. Let my love break the old patterns of your thoughts. Let my presence touch the hidden corners of your soul that no one has ever reached. And remember this, I warn you not to wound you, but to heal you. I come not to condemn, but to give life. And that life is waiting for you the moment you open your heart and say, Lord, please come in. My child, stop and listen closely, for what I am about to say is not a gentle reminder, but a desperate cry from heaven, a resounding alarm that your soul cannot ignore. Surrender. Not a partial surrender, not a conditional one, but complete, total surrender, with nothing withheld. Those small habits you think are harmless, those secret practices done in the dark when no one sees, give them to me. Those fragments of thoughts you let take, root cycling with fear, driven by desire, tainted by pride, burned with bitterness or jealousy, do not let them make their home in you for another day. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not excuse it with later. For the enemy only needs your delay, only needs your promise without action to tighten its grip on your soul. I call you now, in this very moment, let go. This is not merely advice. It is a rescue mission in the realm of the Spirit. You cannot see it all, but I see clearly you are standing at the very threshold of profound holiness, before a glorious door I have prepared for you since before you were born. Just one more step, and you will enter into the land of new life, where my glory will reach every hidden place within you. Yet it is also here that your vulnerability is most dangerous. Just one indulgence, just one compromise you refuse to release, and it will be enough to let the enemy slip in and steal what I am about to give you. I see the enemy lurking at the doorway, waiting for the slightest opening to sow seeds of ruin. It knows that if you cling to what you will not surrender, the holiness ahead will already be tainted at its beginning. I cannot allow that to happen. That is why I cry out to you as a father calling his child out of a burning house. My beloved, you must understand, surrender does not mean loss. It means entering freedom. What you release from your hands today becomes the very space I will fill with more than you could ever imagine. You fear that if you let go, you will be empty, that you will lose what is familiar. But you do not realize that I alone am the one who fills. I alone can heal the gaps you have tried to patch with sin, with hidden habits, with dark thoughts. What you cling to does not make you stronger, it weakens you. They are like stones tied to your feet, making every step in the Spirit heavy and slow. I did not create you to live like this. I created you to run, to soar, to walk in the glorious freedom of the children of God. Remember that the enemy is cunning in using small things to destroy what is great. It does not always appear in obvious ferocity. More often, it comes through thoughts you assume are harmless, through actions you believe. No one will notice, through tiny compromises you think are too trivial to matter. Yet I tell you the truth, what is small, if left unchecked, will grow into chains. A seed, if not uprooted, will become a tree with roots so deep it is almost impossible to remove. And when that time comes, the cost will be far greater. That is why I earnestly plead with you to hand it over to me now, not for judgment, but to rescue you before it is too late. Do you know why my pleading is so urgent? Because I have seen you from the very beginning. I know exactly who you were destined to become. I know the greatness I have planted within you. I see a strong, pure, radiant one, a torch carrying my light into the world. But I also see how those small hidden things threaten to extinguish that flame. You think that if you keep them secret, they will not affect your destiny. But hear me, light and darkness cannot coexist. Light either drives out darkness, or darkness gradually snuffs out the light. You cannot desire holiness while nurturing impurity. You cannot seek obedience while making room for what opposes my will. My beloved child, I do not speak these words to shame you, but to set you free. I do not uncover what is hidden to cause pain, but to bring healing. I do not call you to surrender in order to deprive you, but to give you something infinitely better. You must see that surrender is the doorway to the peace you have long searched for. When you give me what you have kept hidden, you will receive a calmness the world can never give. When you lay down bitterness, lust, fear, or pride, your hands will be light enough to grasp the sacred treasures I am ready to place in them. My child, hesitation is the enemy. Do not wait for perfect circumstances. Do not think you will surrender when you are stronger, less busy, or less tempted. That day will never come. Surrender is not for some ideal time in the future, it is for today. For this hour, for this very moment. It is in your weakness that I reveal my strength. It is in your imperfection that my grace shines most brightly. You do not need to be flawless to give yourself to me. You only need to be honest. You only need to open your heart. You only need to whisper, Lord, I cannot carry this alone anymore. Please take it from me. Believe me, my child, I have never turned away anyone who came to me with a sincere heart. No matter how many times you have fallen, no matter how deep the darkness has seemed, my arms remain open wide. I do not stand waiting with a rod, but with an embrace. I do not wait to condemn you, but to hold you and bind up the wounds you have tried to hide. I know all that you have endured, and that is why I long even more to be your refuge. But you must choose. You must release so I can enter. You must lay down so I can lift up. You must empty your hands so I can fill them. Child, surrender is the most courageous act you can make. Because when you surrender, you declare that I am greater than your fear, greater than your sin, greater than anything you think controls your life. When you surrender, you declare that you trust me more than your own control. And that trust is the key that unlocks the treasures heaven has already prepared for you. So do not let the enemy deceive you into thinking that surrender is loss. On the contrary, surrender is the very first step to truly being found. Do not let hidden habits define you. Do not let dark thoughts imprison you. Let my truth define you. Let my light lead you, and let my love rescue you. Surrender now, for your soul is far too precious to trade for fleeting things. My child, I call you once again, lay it down, offer it up, open your heart wide. And as you do, you will find that I am not merely waiting outside, but already stepping in, already dwelling within you, already transforming everything from the inside out. Then you will know that the choice to surrender today was in fact the beginning of a new life, the life of freedom, peace, and glory that I have destined for you since the very beginning. My beloved child, I have placed within you a soul that longs for what is profound, a heart designed to perceive the holy presence, and a mind capable of reaching the wisdom that comes from above. You were not born to skim the surface of life, but to enter into intimate fellowship with the one who created you. Yet I see how day by day you have gradually lost the sensitivity you once carried, not because you openly rejected me, but because you have unknowingly allowed small, seemingly harmless things to occupy the seat of your heart. You think of them merely as a form of relaxation and escape after long hours of weariness, but the enemy has cunningly used them as instruments to draw you further away from the sacred call. Those fleeting indulgences, those careless moments you have not discerned, are weaving invisible cords around you, making it harder for you to walk swiftly in the freedom I desire for you. Consider, my beloved, that everything you allow into your mind plants a seed. Some seeds grow into fruit of peace, but others rise up as thorns that overshadow the light and choke the very breath of life. You once thought that a little compromise, a little indulgence could do no harm. Yet do you not realize that repetition has been reshaping how you see life, how you measure values, even how you discern right from wrong? What seemed harmless has become a path of dependence. Your time and attention, which should have nourished your soul, have been drained by things with no eternal worth. I see you losing focus, cooling in desire, and becoming numb to the very works that once stirred your heart with reverence and awe. My child, I do not speak this to discourage you, but because my love will not remain silent, I will not allow you to walk on in spiritual numbness, living as one adrift and blind to the urgency of this hour. You no longer feel the weight of your calling because your soul has grown accustomed to the noise of the world. You no longer tremble at warnings because you have lulled yourself with comfort and entertainment. But I, your Maker, am breaking into that cycle today. I cannot let you continue asleep while heaven moves in urgency. You must understand that this moment is unlike any other. This is a strategic hour, a divine turning point, and you are part of that plan. The purpose I have set for you is not some distant dream, but an urgent reality. You were born for a particular mission, a work that only you can fulfill in the way I have designed. The call upon your life cannot be buried beneath trivial busyness. It cannot be hindered by the shallow distractions you permit to soothe your soul. Do you not see that the enemy does not need to destroy you openly? It only needs to keep you distracted, to keep you delaying, so that you never step fully into the greatness I have prepared. That is why I sound the alarm, why I stir you from slumber, for I will not let you miss this appointed season. Awaken, my beloved. Do not let temporary comfort blind your eyes to eternal realities. Do not allow fleeting pleasures to become chains that hold you back from breaking through. I have called you into freedom, into abundant life, into a journey far beyond what you could imagine. Yet you cannot move forward while still clinging to what you refuse to release. Remember, every moment you yield to worthless things is a moment lost to the investment of heaven. Time does not return, and now every breath of yours is bound to a holy purpose. My child, I have not come to condemn, but to rescue. I am extending my hand, calling you away from the things that have dulled your hearing. I am not asking for perfection before you begin. I ask only for willingness, for the simple answer of surrender. Here I am, Lord. When you admit your weakness and place it into my hands, I will redirect the entire course of your life. What once paralyzed, you will become the place where you discover strength. What once distracted you will testify of grace that preserved you, and what once weighed you down will turn into the very doorway, leading you into new freedom. Do you see, my child, that your calling is far too great to be stolen by compromise? Your purpose is too urgent to be held back by mere distractions. The future I have ordained for you cannot be imprisoned by delay. Rise up. Choose again. Let go of what is draining your strength. Do not wait for the perfect moment, for that moment will never arrive. Now is the time to release. Now is the time to return. Now is the time to walk in the freedom I have already prepared for you. And my child, when you choose me over distraction, you will see the veil lifted. You will hear more clearly, see farther, and walk with greater strength. What once seemed unclear will become radiant. What once felt tangled will be put in order. And what was buried will come alive again because my Spirit is moving within you. You are not left to battle this hardness alone. I am here giving you strength to overcome. I am the one who transforms weary hearts into steadfast warriors, and I will do the same for you. Listen carefully, my child. This is not a gentle suggestion, but a resounding call to salvation. This is not optional but urgent. I am calling you out of the cycles of mediocrity, and into a sacred journey. If today you choose to respond, all of heaven will align on your behalf, and I, myself, will walk with you step by step so that you no longer live distracted, but in the fullness of all I am. Remember this well, my child, not every season of your life will be marked by noise, celebration, or visible progress. There are times when I lead you through a season where nothing seems to move, where no progress can be seen, and all appears silent and still. Yet it is in that silence that unseen revolutions are taking place. The deepest and most powerful transformations never begin in the clamor, but in the quiet, in the hidden places, away from crowds, away from lights, away from applause, where it is only you and me. The most enduring foundations are laid. That is where you learn to let faith speak louder than feelings, to let faithfulness prevail over haste, and to let hope anchor you when nothing else is in sight. Do not believe that I have abandoned you when you no longer feel the familiar stirrings of my presence. Do not mistake silence for absence. I have never left you, nor turned my face away. On the contrary, it is in the very moments when you feel most alone that I am working the hardest, quietly, yet surely laying down a foundation within you that no storm can shake. I know your heart longs for proof, for signs, for visible miracles. But my child, the most precious proofs do not come by sight, but by trust in the unseen. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. That is what I declared, and now I invite you to step into that very blessing. Do you see, my child, that it is precisely when all appears still that your soul is being trained for depth? When you no longer rely on fleeting emotions, you learn to stand firm on unchanging truth. When you no longer hold on to immediate successes, you learn to cling to me, the one who never shifts or fails. This is the spiritual training the world cannot comprehend. They look at silence and call it failure, but I look at silence and call it foundation. They see waiting and call it meaningless, but I see waiting and call it preparation. You may think you need open doors, rapid advances, and blossoming works to know you are in the right place. But I tell you, the very seasons you thought were stagnant are the ones in which I am building your deepest layers. Just as the seed must remain hidden in the dark soil before breaking through with life, just as gold must endure the steady fire before it shines with brilliance, so too must you. This quiet is not delay, but the fermentation of breakthrough yet to come. Remember, I do not lead you into silence to make you weak, but to make you stronger. I do not draw you away from the crowd to make you feel abandoned, but to whisper truths you can only hear when all other noise has ceased. I do not hide my face so that you would doubt, but so that you may learn to seek me by faith and not by fleeting emotions. This is how I anchor your soul on a foundation stronger than any circumstance, firmer than every passing change. You may not sense me as you once did, no waves of overwhelming emotion, no obvious supernatural encounters, but trust that I am still here. I am weaving a tapestry beyond the reach of your vision, though the curtain has not yet been lifted. There are threads you will never see, pieces you do not yet understand, but all of them are being tied together into a masterpiece. One day, when you look back, you will realize that it was in the season of quiet that I was laying the foundation for every great turning point ahead. My child, let your heart find rest in this. My silence is never abandonment, but an invitation to go deeper. I do not want you to cling to feelings that fade, but to anchor your soul in me, the unchanging, eternal one. Once you have been forged in the stillness, you will emerge with a strength unshakable, with a stability that nothing can steal away. So do not fear the silence. Do not fear the days when no applause is heard and no one sees your faithfulness. Do not fear the moments when faith is the only thing left to hold on to. For it is there, in that very place, that I am teaching you I am enough, and that I have never ceased to act for your eternal good. My beloved, be patient, for behind the curtain I am weaving breakthroughs you could not yet imagine. And when the time is right, everything will burst forth in light, and you will see that every quiet moment carried meaning, every waiting hour was a seed planted for a glorious harvest. You will rise no longer the same as before, but refined, prepared to carry the fullness of the destiny I have ordained for you. Precious child, I know the weight of long waiting sometimes presses heavily on your heart. I see every weary beat, when day after day seems unchanged. I feel the questions rising when you wonder, have you forgotten me? The uncertainty blows like a cold wind against your hope, seeking to extinguish your flame of expectation. But remember, true faith is not sustained by constant signs or unbroken affirmations. True faith is built upon me, the one who does not change, whether you hear my voice or not, whether you see my hand or not. If you only believe when I speak loudly, if you are steady, only when miracles appear instantly, then that faith is not yet enduring. Such faith still rests on evidence, on feelings, on what can shift in a moment. But I am shaping within you another kind of faith, a mature faith, one that walks even when the path is unseen, one that trusts when no sensation affirms it, one that stands firm when the heavens seem closed and silence covers everything. This is the journey I am leading you through, that you may learn to anchor yourself not in circumstance, but in my nature and my promises that never fail. Think of Abraham, who was promised descendants as numerous as the stars and the sand. Years passed and the promise seemed only a distant dream. Yet he believed, and that faith was credited to him as righteousness. He trusted even when his body aged and the natural order suggested surrender. That is the kind of faith I am shaping in you. The faith not built on what is seen, but on the one who has spoken, for I am faithful. The waiting is not meant to break you, but to refine you. In the place of uncertainty, your soul learns to let go of leaning on circumstances. In the emptiness, when nothing else holds you, you discover how to cling more tightly to me. The faith I am forming within you is not fragile but resilient, a faith that can stand in storms, that does not collapse when the earth trembles, that remains unmoved, even when every promise seems distant. I know that sometimes you want to cry out, Lord, why are you silent? But my child, silence does not mean absence. Just as a teacher watches the student during an exam, I am still right there, observing every step you take, yet allowing you to apply what you have already learned so that you may grow. You are not abandoned, you are being refined. Remember this, I never lead you into trials to break you, but to purify you into pure gold. When the heavens seem closed, remember that it is only your eyes that are veiled, it never hides me. I am still at work behind the scenes, weaving together the perfect plan, arranging every piece you cannot yet see. True faith is when you choose to stand firm, not because circumstances are favorable, but because you know the one you trust never changes. My child, waiting is not your enemy, but a quiet teacher. It teaches you patience, humility, surrender, and how to let me take the reins. It teaches you to trust when you have nothing left to cling to but me. And in that very place you will discover that I am enough for you. One day when you look back, you will realize that the season of waiting was not an empty void, but the very foundation upon which I built the unshakable spiritual life I destined for you. You will see that every tear, every restless night, every moment you felt you would collapse became the precious material by which I shaped a resilient faith. Stand firm, my child. Do not let silence shake you. Do not let uncertainty extinguish your hope. The faith I am forging in you is the very bridge that will carry you through the darkest nights into the radiant light I have prepared. And in that moment you will understand that none of the waiting was in vain, for it birthed within you an unshakable treasure, steadfast faith in the one who never changes. My beloved child, you now stand at a crucial turning point in your spiritual journey. This is not a random shift, nor the result of chance circumstances. It is a crossroads I myself have set before you to awaken you, to pull you out of the cycles of stagnation. You sense that things around you no longer function as they once did. What used to bring comfort no longer soothes you. Your peace is often unsettled and fleeting satisfactions no longer satisfy. This is not because you have lost my blessing, but because I am intervening to break the patterns that lulled your soul into false security. I have allowed certain things you once cherished to lose their appeal, so you would no longer chase after what does not nourish your spirit. I have permitted relationships, pleasures, even works that once thrilled your heart to feel empty, so you might see that they were never the true source of life. You must release what only fills the shell but leaves the soul hollow. I have stirred your hunger, made you restless, even in what once brought you ease. This is not punishment but a wake-up call so that you will not be lost in what is temporary. Take note, the growing pressure within you is not meant to crush but to propel you forward. I have allowed the weight to increase so that you can no longer choose to remain still. All this time you have circled around the same truths, hearing, knowing, yet hesitating to act. You have spoken much about faith, about calling, but you have not yet fully lived it. Now the pressure is my reminder: the time for action has come. You cannot only speak without doing. You cannot keep delaying, thinking there will always be another chance. You have stayed too long in the same place, so long that what is right has become familiar, yet lacks breakthrough. My child, I say to you, now is the time. There is no longer room for hesitation, no more space for calculating the cost. You have weighed the losses and gains for too long. But in my kingdom, obedience cannot be postponed indefinitely. Every moment you hesitate is a moment an opportunity slips away. There is no more delay in the spirit. Heaven is urgently waiting for you to say yes. In truth, you already know what you must do. Deep within your soul, you have always heard that reminder. You have always felt that stirring. No one else needs to tell you, for I engraved it in your heart long ago. The issue is not knowledge, but decision. You have known, but you have not chosen. You have heard, but you have not responded. You have been waiting for a more favorable condition, a clearer sign, an easier circumstance. But my child, that favorable day will never come in the way you expect. The very moment you choose to obey that is when the true favorable time arrives. Heaven is not looking for those who only listen, who nod their heads, who agree in thought. Heaven waits for hearts bold enough to rise and act upon what I have spoken, even when the cost is great. For obedience is never cheap, but it always brings a reward beyond imagination. When you say yes to me, you open the door for my grace, my strength, and my power to flow into your life. But if you continue to delay, you will miss the seasons I have prepared for you to enter. Remember, Moses had to leave the palace to become a deliverer. Jonah only saw Nineveh saved when he decided to return to the path I called him to. Mary had to courageously say, "Let it be," in order to bring the Savior into the world. None of them had every answer when they chose. They only had one thing: obedience. And that obedience changed the course of history. I want you to understand that your yes today will not only transform your own life, but it may alter the lives of many others as well. Do not think that you must be fully prepared before you can respond. Do not imagine that only when you are strong enough can you say yes. It is precisely when you are weak and yet still decide to trust that my power is revealed most clearly. Do not look at your own limitations, look to the one who calls you. For I did not choose you because you are perfect, but I chose you so that through the journey you may be perfected. Therefore, my child, do not let your heart be bound by fear or indecision. Today is the day of decision. This very moment is the hour of obedience. Heaven is waiting for your response. And when you dare to say yes, you will see the doors open and you will step into a new season. A season of transformation, of breakthrough, of realities you once only dared to dream. My beloved, be strong and courageous. Do not let the calling hover endlessly in the void. Do not let hesitation steal your opportunity. You have always known what you must do. And now I call you, choose, rise, respond. Heaven is waiting for you. And the moment you say yes, all of heaven will rejoice, for one step of yours resounds into eternity. Beloved child, what you are going through is not retreat, nor is it harsh punishment. It is my intricate and loving work reshaping your life. I am shaking the foundations you once believed unshakable, not to cause your collapse, but to establish a new firm and worthy foundation for what I have prepared. I am shaking the very ground of your refuge, not to leave you exposed, but to bring you to the only place of true shelter, my presence. Every overturned table, every fallen pillar, every attachment removed, none of it is outside my loving plan, none of it beyond my control. Yes, it feels like loss, like breaking, like there is no way forward. But my child, I assure you, this is precise pruning, cutting away the fruitless so that true life may flow and bear much fruit. Remember that I am the potter and you are the clay. When I press, reshape, and even break what once seemed complete, it is not rejection, but because I see something more beautiful waiting to be formed. Just as the farmer does not hesitate to prune the vine, knowing that cutting back makes way for greater harvest, so I too am removing what you thought was necessary, so you may carry what you were truly created to bear. You think you are losing, but in truth you are being prepared to receive abundantly more. You think the doors close because I have forgotten, but I am closing them to open another, the very one that leads to the spiritual destiny I ordained for you before the foundations of the world. My child, I know this unsettling feeling makes your heart tremble. You are not accustomed to standing on ground that is shaking, nor do you feel at ease walking when everything around you no longer feels familiar. But distinguish carefully, this is not chaos, it is restructuring. This is not destruction, it is renewal. This is not the end, it is the beginning. You see ruin, but I see a new foundation. You feel lost, but I see you moving closer to wholeness. You see walls collapsing, but I see a wide open field where I will sow seeds of greater purpose. The loss you are tasting is not accidental, it is protection. I have prevented you from binding yourself too deeply to things that would hold you back. I have not allowed harmful ties to continue suffocating your spiritual breath. I have intervened because you cannot step into the next season carrying the heavy burdens of the old one. My child, pay attention. What I remove will never exceed what I am about to give. Every shift has its reason, every shaking has its purpose. Do not confuse discomfort with danger. Do not confuse instability with destruction. This is divine intervention, the hand of a loving Father, touching every corner of your life to reorder, to clear the way for something greater. If I left you in the safety of your old frames, you would remain confined. You would continue settling for crumbs when I have prepared a banquet. You would remain in the ordinary while I am calling you into the extraordinary. I love you too much to let you stop at what is lesser, when heaven has already marked a higher place for you. You once asked, Lord, have I lost you? Have I wandered from the way? And I answer, no, my child. Even in the midst of this shaking, you are right in the center of my plan. For I am the one holding your hand, the one leading you through flood and fire without harm. I know exactly what you need to grow, to be refined, to become steadfast. You see darkness, but I see dawn. You hear the crash of breaking, but I hear the song of birth. You feel emptiness, but I am filling every hollow space with my presence and my power. Every shift, every loss, every fracture is only on the surface. Beneath it I am weaving resilience, courage, and focus that you will need for the season ahead. Therefore, instead of trembling at what falls apart, lift up thanksgiving. Instead of worrying over what is gone, open your hands to receive the new. Trust in your heart that I never take without giving something better. I never close a chapter without preparing one that is deeper and greater. Fix your eyes on the Father rather than the rubble. Lift your head up instead of bowing low to count what has been lost. For the sooner you let go, the sooner you will step in. The quicker you say yes to me, the faster you will be released from the chains that restrain you. Do not fear instability, for it is not your enemy. It is the signal that heaven is moving, that I am intervening to protect, to prepare, and to raise you higher. And one day, when you look back, you will see everything I did was to lead you into a wider place where light abounds, where your calling bursts forth in glory, unhindered by anything. My beloved child, do you not realize that the seasons you walked through in loneliness and silence were never wasted? I allowed you to endure those long days when it seemed no one truly saw you, no one truly listened or understood. I know how often you longed for a hand to hold yours, for eyes that could gaze into the depths of your soul, for a voice that could ease the burdens you could not share with anyone. Yet it was precisely those silent stretches that became the loom on which I am weaving a divine encounter that draws near, a connection I have prepared with care, not random, not fleeting, but set within my eternal plan to open a new door for the mission of your life. This person will not come merely to fill a passing emotional void, nor to walk with you for only a short distance. They will come as part of your calling, shaped and refined by my hand, to align with you, to awaken within you what I planted long ago that still lies dormant. Do you remember how many times you lifted your eyes to heaven and asked, Lord, do you see me? Do you hear me? I have seen, I have heard, and I have held those prayers in my hand. At times I let you think you were forgotten, but in truth I was preparing an answer far beyond what you expected. The one who is about to enter your life is the very fulfillment of those petitions. They carry the key to unlock a door you did not know existed. They will walk beside you in crucial steps, and together both of you will grow into a strength that surpasses what either could achieve alone. Just as Moses had Aaron and David had Jonathan, so too I am bringing into your life a bond that will be more than friendship. It will be spiritual partnership. In that unity, your strength will not wither in solitude, but will be multiplied to accomplish what I have destined. My child, I know you have grown weary of fleeting relationships, of pouring out your heart only to be left with emptiness and disappointment. You have trusted and been betrayed, opened your soul and been wounded. I have seen the silent tears you shed when you thought no one on this earth could truly understand you. Yet it is these very wounds that have sharpened your discernment, teaching you to distinguish between what is false and what is real. It is these very pains that have taught you to lean on me, not to cling desperately to people. And now, as you have been refined through the fire, I can entrust you with a bond that is not meant to enslave you, but to strengthen you. This person will not replace my place in your heart, but will join you in fixing your eyes upon me. They will not come to distract you from my presence, but to help you draw nearer to the purpose I have ordained. Do not think, my child, that this connection is merely a comfort for your loneliness. It is part of heaven's design. I have chosen the timing, I have chosen the person, and I have set the purpose. You have walked through long seasons alone so that you would learn your strength does not come from having someone by your side, but from my presence with you. And it is precisely when you no longer reach out in desperation for a hand to fill the emptiness that I can give you this bond, so that it does not become a crutch leading you away from me, but a peace that stabilizes you further in your mission. I want you to prepare your heart, not with impatience, but with readiness. This person will not be perfect, and neither will you. But both of you will be molded, both of you will be tested, and through that I will teach you what it means to love, what it means to endure, what it means to carry one another's burdens. This bond will be built not on fleeting emotions, but on my faithfulness. It will endure trials because it does not rest on worldly attraction but on the calling I have placed in each soul. And you will see when I join two lives for one mission, the strength does not merely double, it multiplies abundantly. You have felt invisible in the crowd, yet I have never considered you invisible. I have watched each of your steps, and I have prepared someone who will see you as I see you. You will no longer feel that your voice is dismissed, for this person will listen with understanding born from my spirit. You will no longer feel that your heart is a deserted place, for this person will stand with you in prayer, in dreams, and in battles of the Spirit. This is not a small reward to soothe you for a moment. It is a great strategy of heaven so that your life may not only be upheld, but propelled to a new level. My beloved child, open your heart and receive. Do not fear that this connection will repeat the old wounds of your past. This is my arrangement, and if you trust me, you will see that every step is held in my hand, every bond filtered through my wisdom. Do not let the past shut you down, for the past was only preparation for this moment. Now let your heart be ready to say yes to what I am bringing forth. For this person is not only the answer to the silent cries of your heart, but also an extension of the mission I have placed upon your life. My beloved, the time has come for you to release completely the wounds that have held your soul captive. The memories of betrayal, the words that pierced your heart, the rejections that made you retreat into the shadows, all have clung to you like dust thick upon the glass through which you see life distorting your vision. I call you to shake them off, to cleanse, to wipe away every layer of haze. For if you continue to look at the world through the eyes of old pain, you will not recognize the new gifts I am sending. If your heart remains locked by bitter memories, you may unknowingly push away those I have sent to walk with you. Let forgiveness do its work to heal, to free, to open a clear vision. Do not build walls of defense, for such walls not only keep others out, but imprison you within. I know that within your heart there is still unease, a quiet whisper that says, "In the end, everyone will leave me." You have long assumed that misunderstanding is simply an inevitable part of your life. But, my child, that is not the truth I want you to embrace. It is only the scar left from days when you were wounded and no one came to wipe away your tears. I come today to affirm that there will be one who does not leave when the storm rises, one who will not run when they see the shadows within you. This person will not come to view you as someone broken in need of repair, but as a treasure I, myself, have touched, one I have destined for a higher purpose. They will not be frightened by the parts you try to hide, because I have already prepared their heart to understand, to receive, and to walk alongside you. Yet in order to welcome this, you must be prepared. Not only prepared in emotion, but also in spirit. A home that wishes to receive an honored guest must be cleansed, arranged, and made ready with space. So it is with your soul. Clear away doubt, cast off the fear of unworthiness, and instead open your heart as a chamber filled with light. Guard your focus. Do not let passing distractions, the noise around you, or old memories pull you away from the direction I am leading. For when this connection comes, it will not merely add another piece to your life. It will be the catalyst that accelerates destiny. It will carry you into a new season at a pace you could never achieve on your own. This sacred union will be like a strong wind filling the sails, propelling the vessel of your life swiftly over the waves toward the shore I have ordained. Remember, my child, not every delay of the past was a loss. Many times you cried out asking why your prayers for companionship, for a true confidant, for a faithful partner were delayed for so long. You thought I was ignoring you, but the truth is I was preparing, in you and in them. Had I brought them too soon, while your heart was still unready and clouded by unhealed wounds, you would not have recognized them and might even have turned them away unknowingly. But now, after you have endured the fire of trials, after I have shaped you through patience and faith, You have matured to receive this gift. This is not delay, it is precision. This is not coincidence. It is the orchestration of heaven, and I tell you the time is drawing near. So open wide your heart, keep your gaze clear, and let faith lead instead of fear. You need not worry whether they will come, for I have already decreed it. Your part is simply to prepare your soul as fertile ground, so that when the seed of this divine connection is sown, it will take root and flourish. Do not carry the burdens of the past, for they will only slow your steps. Walk lightly, for destiny approaches with each passing day. And soon you will see my faithfulness, that I have heard, I have prepared, and I will bring this meeting to pass at the perfect moment. My child, I want you to understand a deeper truth. I always move in perfect unity, never scattered, never contradictory, never straying from eternal purpose. The closer you draw to me, the more you will see that my rhythm is not like the hurried pace of the world. You will gradually lose the urge to force things to happen on your own schedule, because you will recognize that every moment I ordain carries fullness, never too soon, never too late. The impatient child wants the door to open the instant he knocks, but the mature son knows his father always opens it at the appointed time. I do not want you to become one who chases the future as though pursued by the past, exhausted and anxious. Instead, I call you to walk in the safety of an heir, one who knows the inheritance is already his, and that the timing of receiving it is only a matter of faith and patience. Look at how my kingdom operates. There is no chaos, no haste, but everything unfolds like a symphony, already composed, each note sounding at the right place, at the right time. I want you to see this truth so that you will no longer be restless or tense, but instead learn to flow with the rhythm I have ordained. For rest in me is not indulgence or inactivity. It is an intentional act, a decisive choice to place your trust in my sovereignty rather than being driven by fear. That rest is like standing on a firm suspension bridge. You do not need to constantly check the ropes or bolts, for you know it was built to bear the weight. You only need to walk forward, and that very trust is action. I want you to understand that true rest is trusting so completely that you no longer need to prove or strive to keep everything under control. Remember, stillness never equals laziness. On the contrary, spiritual stillness is the mark of courage. Only those who are certain of their Father's care dare to be still when the storm approaches. The world will tell you that you must always move, always strive, always grasp. But I teach you another principle at times. The greatest strength is to stand firm without wavering. When the Israelites stood before the Red Sea with the enemy pursuing from behind, Moses declared, "Stand still, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord." Exodus 1:4, 1:3. In that stillness, the sea parted. In the same way, I want you to believe that your silence in faith will open paths for miracles that hurry and striving could never bring. My child, learn to distinguish between true rest and false passivity. True rest springs from absolute trust that I am in control, that even when your eyes do not see and your hands do not touch, I am at work behind the scenes arranging every detail. True rest allows you to breathe out with relief because you are no longer carrying burdens only I can bear. By contrast, false passivity is surrender in despair when you give up and refuse to believe that good will come. I never call you into that kind of passivity. I call you into active rest, where your heart is still full of expectation, your hands remain ready, and your soul is steady in hope. You will find that when you live in union with me, you no longer feel pressured to prove your worth through achievements, nor do you strive for the approval of others. You will walk with the ease of one who knows that an eternal inheritance has been entrusted to you before you ever drew your first breath. Just as a child does not need to compete with siblings for the Father's love, you do not need to race with others for my attention. Every blessing has already been appointed for you in its perfect time. And when you learn this secret, you will discover great freedom in your soul. You can work without fear pressing you. You can wait without anxiety eating away at you. My beloved, do not let your mind deceive you into thinking that if you sit still, everything will slip away. I hold time in my hands, and nothing I have decreed for you can be stolen. The enemy may try to delay, may whisper doubts, but he cannot destroy what I have ordained. Therefore, stillness in me is not an empty void, but a spiritual strategy. It is like a soldier, standing at attention, awaiting the command of his general, not because he is afraid, but because he knows strength is not in haste, but in waiting for the precise signal to strike. I am your commander, and when I give the order, you will advance with the might of heaven's armies at your side. My child, train your spirit to listen for the rhythm of my heart. When you rest in me, you will see the pieces begin to fall into place, the promises take shape, and the doors once locked swing open. Let peace be your sign, for my peace will always accompany you when you walk in the right path. Remember, motion is not always the sign of life. Sometimes it is in the stillness that the deepest currents of divine life flow most powerfully. Like an ancient tree that does not need to move to prove its strength, but simply stands firm-rooted deep, so it is with you. Remain in me, root yourself in me, and you will see fruit in its appointed season. And I want you to remember, this rest in me is not meaningless idleness, but the beginning of greater steps ahead. When you cease running in chaos by your own strength, you will hear my voice more clearly. When you stop striving to hold on, you will see my hand lifting you up. And when you choose stillness, you will experience the steadfastness of the one who never changes. This is the difference between a slave of fear and a child who inherits the kingdom. I have called you my child, not a slave. Walk in that identity, trust and rest, for everything I have ordained for you will come to pass at the right time, and no one will be able to hinder it. I want you to know that when you truly recognize me as the one who rules over all creation, a profound transformation will take place within your soul. Then you will no longer strain to control every outcome, no longer chase after every shift, and change, no longer measure your worth by the fragile standards of speed and visible success. You will stop tormenting yourself over delays that seem meaningless, because you will realize that even in those slow moments, I am at work. I am shaping, refining, and protecting, so that you will not only reach the promise, but also preserve your soul when the fulfillment comes. For what I give is not a fleeting gift that quickly fades, but a treasure accompanied by lasting peace so deep that it quiets every noise in your mind and silences every heavy question in your heart. My child, true blessing does not arrive to create chaos. It does not bring extra burdens that leave you exhausted, nor does it pull you into the cycle of striving to keep hold of it. The blessing from me comes with an inexplicable sweetness, with a grace that surpasses understanding. When it arrives, you will find yourself freed rather than bound, relieved rather than weighed down. It will be like a refreshing stream in a dry desert, like a gentle breath amid a raging storm, like light breaking forth in a darkened room where you had long lost sight of the way out. And all of this cannot be forced nor purchased by your own effort, but only received through faith and surrender. Remember that I am the one who opens doors. The doors you never dared to touch, I will cause them to open at the appointed time. You do not need to exhaust yourself pounding on them, nor fear that they will remain forever shut. My timing is always precise, and when it comes, the door will open as though it had been prepared for you since before the foundations of the world. And more wondrous still, when you step through, you will not find a narrow, dark corridor, but a wide and open space designed to fit your steps, your stature, and the mission I have placed within your heart. Beloved, let your faith no longer be confined by impatience. Realize that slowing down does not mean failure, and waiting is not in vain. In what seems like unreasonable delay, there lies a deeper meaning that only those who endure in me will discover. I delay not to cause you pain, but to ensure that what I give comes without lack. I cause you to walk more slowly, not to make you miss your chance, but to keep you from overlooking the greater gift ahead. For my blessing is never partial, never a faint shadow, but a full, complete, and unshakable reality that endures forever. There are things you have long carried in your heart, dreams you have prayed for over many years, and you have thought that I was silent. But I want you to understand I am not silent to abandon you. I am silent to test you, to see whether you will continue to trust even when no sign remains, or if you will give up when the night grows dark. And when you remain steadfast, I will pour out what cannot be compared to anything you ever imagined. For I am the one who does immeasurably more than all you ask or think. The blessing will come with abundance, with mercy, with peace, so deep that you can only bow down and confess, "This is surely the hand of God." Therefore, do not worry if things still seem unfinished. Do not be afraid when you cannot yet see the way. For I am preparing each step, and when the time is right, what I have arranged will come with such clarity that you will no longer have a shadow of doubt. You will know that it was not your doing nor given by men, but from the very one who reigns over heaven and earth. And with it will come a peace strong enough to quiet every storm of anxiety within you. My child, yield yourself to my sovereignty. Do not rush, do not act in haste, and do not let doubt take hold when things do not yet appear as you desire. Let your spirit rest in stillness, yet burn brightly with faith. Allow your heart to stop racing against time and instead find its rhythm in the eternal heartbeat of mine. Then you will walk free from the pressures that weigh heavily upon the world, and you will move in the freedom that only those who truly trust in me can taste. You will one day see that every delay, every waiting season, and every winding path has become a stone laid upon the road leading you to your destination. In that moment you will understand that I have never wasted a single instant of your life. Each moment has been shaping you, preparing you, so that when the blessing arrives it will be complete, not only satisfying your heart, but transforming your destiny. And when you stand in the place of what I have given you, will realize that nothing in this world is more precious than the peace that flows from me alone. If these words have touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to continue walking together on this journey of faith where the Word of God brings light and His love leads you every single day. The Lord is with you. Amen.